everybody, welcome back to EMS One News Insider Analysis. Ed Bauter, Dan Schwester from the Overrun. Danny,
Hey,
how are we
everybody.
doing today?
We're doing great, Ed. How are you?
I'm well. We actually have a really exciting story today. This is coming out of Congress, which I know it's very interesting to say we have an exciting story coming out of Washington, D.C., but we do. So this is actually an interesting story of bipartisanship. This is a bill that has come across the United States Congress. This is H.R. 3791. This was introduced in the 119th Congress from a Republican and Democratic congressman that they're looking to add cross-trained EMTs and paramedics to the federal classification system. Dan, we have to do this because federal EMTs and paramedics are not recognized.
Yeah. I love this idea. I mean, I'm an old school, government fan. I love bipartisanship, and I'm glad that we could get together on something in this country that's not, red versus blue, Crips versus Bloods, you name it, East Coast, West Coast, whatever. Here's my problem. It's only for cross-trained EMTs and firefighters. Where are the single role providers? And we've got a lot of them. They do exist in the world. Listen, I love our fire guys. I love the fire medics. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I don't. But when do we get some love? When do the sole EMS providers, when do we get some love and some recognition?
No, and I think that's right. And this is something where, and we've talked about this off air,
Yeah.
I mean, ad infinitum at this point. And certainly there's been plenty of conversations that leaders have had about this. This is a problem where, Dan, you and I live in a state where EMS isn't even required constitutionally. So this is terrific that we're making progress, that we're saying that EMS is required. You should have people that are cross-trained.
Yep.
This is a bill in 2025 that is great to see. It's 30 years overdue. This should have come out in 1995 or 1985 for that matter.
How about 1975? Like it should have happened.
We started.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And this is one of the issues that we see now. I'm giving them credit because this is something great. This is a jumping off point, right?
Yeah.
But when you're 30 years behind, it's giving credit a little bit too late. Like it's an imperfect analogy, but we discussed graduating high school is terrific. It's that's something that everyone should do. But if you graduate high school at 35 years old, you're way, way, way behind the eight ball. So, this is a great thing. It's not to take away from the effort of the people in Congress. It's an essential thing. But this is one of those things like this is a great first step, and we have 400 steps after this. So I think it's important to mention, like, all right, look, at least we start at the federal level, right? You start at the federal level, you get EMTs and paramedics and EMS writ large recognized at that level. At least it's a starting point, right?
Yeah,
so we can take that like, hey, listen, we're listed federally. We should probably be listed at the states too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think this is an important bright line legally that will start that process. But you're 100% right. This should have started 50 years ago. This should have been when we started EMS and realized that this is a unique job with a unique specialty. I'm not saying cross-trained people can't do it well, looking at you, Seattle Fire Department, among others. But again, this is not just a firefighter thing. There's plenty of states, there's plenty of agencies that are third service. There's plenty of states that have that. Most of the figures that I say that at least 80%, it's probably less now. Let's say 70 or 65% of all of firefighters in the country are volunteer. So that means your EMS is third service, or it's hospital based, or it's something else. This is a great first step. I would like to see legislators extrapolate this out. And to be honest, in our political world right now, and the way this rap war is going on in our politics, I'm not gonna be angry about anything that's done on a bipartisan basis. So if a Republican and a Democrat can get together and do this, I think there's hope. I think we can do some good things. And I hope I would hope the 19th Congress finds more opportunities like this than less.
No, I think that's absolutely right. And obviously, when you're in an East Coast and West Coast battle, the answer is Wu-Tang is for the children. But here, this act is the EMS Counts Act. This was introduced by Representative Glenn Thompson from Pennsylvania and John Mannion from New York. This was introduced on June 5th. So this is a very, very new thing. This is one of those times where we're going to tell you to call your Congress people. Let them know that there's this EMS bill. It's going to have to go through the Congress. It is a long process, but call your representatives. Let them know that you support this bill and that you want this bill to go through. And again, this is HR 3791 in the 119th Congress.
Extremely important.
Super
extremely
important.
important.
We have to get this starting point where we can actually get EMS recognized all over the country and then at each state. So for EMS One News and Insider Analysis, Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester from the Overrun, call your congressperson. Let them know that you want this bill passed, and we will talk to you next time.